Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Underneath the Hood. I'm Dave Martin, the owner of Martin's Auto Repair in Central Phoenix.
I'm Glen Hayward, the proud owner of Goodworks Auto Repair in sunny Tempe, Arizona.
And I'm Lee Weatherby with Accurate Automotive in the heart of Mesa.
And together, we represent 140 years of combined automotive experience.
Our goal is to change the perception of our auto repair industry by going behind the scenes and underneath the hood.
And we hope to share with you what it's like to own a small business and give you a perspective from an insider's point of view.
So let's get started.
Well, hello out there. Welcome to Podcast Underneath the Hood. And I'm Dave Martin. How you guys doing today?
Really good.
Fantastic, Dave. I'm Glen Hayward, Goodworks Auto Repair.
I'm Lee Weatherby with Accurate Automotive.
Yeah.
And we would love to invite you to like and subscribe Underneath the Hood podcast.
Today's information.
Podcast Underneath the Hood. .com.
Underneaththehood.com.
And we would definitely
I'm confident that our viewers are way more intelligent than we are and know exactly how to get to
We
us.
would definitely love for you to like and subscribe it. Like and subscribe, definitely. Hey, Glenn, what happened on this day?
On this day, back in June 23rd of 2010, the production of the Chevrolet Cobalt, if any of you have ever owned one, drove one, saw one in a showroom, or stranded on the side of the road, smoking, smoldering, they ended it. They said, this is it, we're going to quit making the Cobalt. General Motors produced approximately 1.1 million Chevrolet Cobalts between 2004 and 2010 at the Lordstown Assembly Plant in Ohio. So apparently 1.1 million cars in a span of
6 years.
6 years is miserable. That's miserable sales.
Yeah.
And I don't remember a lot of specific things that I hated about the Cobalt, but I did not view it as being a quality vehicle. I think they did something in a time when maybe the economy was dragging. They had to build a car that was less expensive, make something more affordable.
Wasn't that two different? Didn't they put some? Didn't they kind of go on a venture with another?
I think what they did is they
I can't remember
they took a lot of the parts, because remember at the time, GM was still, this big conglomerate, had 5 car lines and everything else. And so what they were doing was they were trying to build a less expensive product that could be an offering to the public.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so they used a couple of different car to kind of put together something, because all the pieces were gonna fit, and it wasn't a terrible kind of a looking car. It wasn't necessarily overly engineered or thought to have great longevity. That was the big thing, and I mean it kind of fits in line with what
you get what you pay for.
You got what you pay for. And listen, let's face it, you guys. This is what car manufacturers do. They're doing it still today. You know what I mean? You have your Highline automobiles, and then you have your economy line automobiles, and then you have your entry level automobiles. You know what I mean? That people can buy so that they're capable of fitting a budget line.
And they'll get them to and fro for period of years without having any major problems.
Something for everybody. Something for every budget.
Cobalt is actually a dangerous mineral. I'm surprised that they would have named a car after that.
Well, it was dangerous for them. That's why they only produced it for 6 years.
Well, the whole car didn't think it through.
You do not want to handle cobalt in your hands and toss it around at the baseball stadium.
So Lee, what's the quote of the day?
Oh, I've got a fun quote of the day. And I really like this one because this is one of my favorite directors, Michael Crichton. This is a quote from him. It said, "True crisis management is not about how well you handle a disaster when it hits. It's about the thousands of tiny, unseen corrections you made months ago to ensure the disaster never arrived at all." Yeah. And that really is the key.
Prevention is the best cure.
You know what? Absolutely. Yeah. There is no better medicine than prevention.
Isn't that funny you say that? Because when things go wrong and things go bad, you think to yourself, God, if I would have just done this a week ago, or I would have just done this before, it wouldn't have never happened. And then you kind of just kick yourself going, what in the heck? Why didn't I just do this? I could have avoided this pain. But
but we're procrastinators by nature. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think
either that or we look at it as a fleeting thought and did it really mean anything? We never processed it.
Yeah.
Until something goes
in
bad.
one ear, not the other.
Well, you guys, and I mean, just to think about this, we're all married. How many times have our significant others said to us and made it really positive suggestion? Hey, maybe you could do something about that. And we've walked past it maybe 10 or 15 times, and then all of a sudden we walk in one day and it's not there, and they've gone ahead and done it, and then we're looking at it going, well, I was going to do it, and they're going like, well, when was that? Was that going to be like the 12th of never, or when are we going to get to that? And it's just that scenario right there.
So are you saying your wife is right?
There's no question about it.
So it's on tape now. Your wife can use this against you later on.
Well, you know what? It's been used against me already. So
Well,
that's what 40 plus years of marriage will do. You realize that, you know what?
I'm wrong all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not always right.
really.
I just believe it.
I'm more of the preemptive type. I see something and I jump on it pretty quickly to make sure.
You know what? I'm gonna
think
call
different.
Bull because your wife's right over there. I mean, she's got the.
Is she raising the bull? Is she giving the bull signal out there?
There we go. No.
Well,
I believe in prevention rather than reaction to something.
And you are spot on with that, because the real truth is, anytime you can do preventative type things, you know what I mean, to stop something from occurring,
it saves you time,
always,
saves you money, saves you
bet.
embarrassment. I mean, there are so many things you could add on to that.
It boils down to that old adage: to be proactive stops you from having to be reactive.
Well, and so today's topic is money is tight. Well, when I was a kid, my dad used to say this. He used to say, money's tight, times are hard, here's your Christmas card with no money.
Well, your dad and my dad must have gone to the same school.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing that I guess we want to talk about a little bit today is when it comes to automotive, when it comes to your car. Car repair is expensive, and all three of us will agree on that.
And getting more expensive.
It's getting more expensive. Everything's getting more and more expensive, and car repair is no exception to the rule here.
Right.
The top three things that you spend the most money on in your entire life, besides the expensive divorce.
Wow, Glenn,
It's your car.
Wow, talk about a buzzkill.
It's your car. Not necessarily in this order. It's education, your car, and your home.
Yeah.
The three things you'll spend the most money on, not only in its initial purchase, but in the keeping of that.
But now,
whatever that item
just to kind of belabor that point for just a second, think about what all three of those things are. Those are all tools that we utilize in our lives, you know what I mean, to move forward.
Exactly.
Well, and so here's what I guess we want to kind of let the listeners know, or help the listeners out with, is, Olivia, our director, was telling me before we did the show, and was talking about how people are kind of putting off things a little bit.
No question.
And then she used this analogy, which I still don't understand, and maybe you guys can explain this to me, but she was talking about putting off coloring your hair a little bit longer to save some money. And I'm like,
Dave, it wouldn't work for you.
I was trying to figure out what she was talking about. Color what?
Dave doesn't even need shampoo. Come on.
Yeah. And when you...
Hey, I got a gal, though. She works for me. Her mom sells wigs.
Really?
Yeah, we could get you one. You could be a rocker, Dave. Dude.
Yeah. I went into. My wife asked me one time to pick up shampoo at Walgreens, because I was on the way home. I picked up shampoo, I put it on the counter, and you should have saw the look on the checkout face.
What you gonna do with that, son?
What are you doing? It's not me.
It's none of your business.
So let's go to cars now. We've already had enough fun with that. But so like on some of the things that people can do themselves, maybe a little bit to save a little bit of money, or some things that people shouldn't do, or also things, what can people hold off on to spread out a little bit longer, to not to save a little bit of money.
Just to synopsize what you're saying, what can I do versus what should I do? You know what I mean? What can I hold off on, and what can I not hold off on? I think that's probably the best way we could, maybe put it out there for people.
Right. So Glenn, when you get customers coming into you to say, hey, you tell them
what can I hold off on?
Well, your service writer says that this needs to be replaced in the car, and the customer says, well, maybe I can do that.
We face this every day.
Yeah, right. We face it every day. So what do you tell your clients when they say, hey, maybe I can just do it myself?
Well, to prioritize things, I mean, first and foremost, what are the most crucial things you have to do to your vehicle to keep it running and viable on the road, right? And so that's basically oil changes, brakes, things of, safety. Things
Tires, lights.
Tires, lights, things that keep your car running.
Absolute
things that keep
safety
you safe
first.
on the road. And so the question is, how much of that can you do yourself? Well, you can do your own oil changes. Mm-hmm. But in order to do that, you have to have some equipment to make sure that you're safe while you're doing that. You don't just crawl into your car. You can't get under most cars. You can't get your hand under some of them. They're so low to the ground. So now you have to have a jack. You have to have jack stands to make sure that you're safe. Now we're talking about easily a couple $100 there.
And know where to put the jack stands too. That's really critical.
Yes, placement is crucial, because if you put them on a weak part of the frame or on the outside of the body, you're going to do body damage. The car could fall off of there and kill you. So again, where I'm thinking from a safety point of view, and this again, I'm not trying to say this to frustrate people or not get them to try to do some of their stuff themselves. I'm just telling you the stuff that you need to have there. You don't get your jack out of your trunk and jack the car up and stick your head on your body under there and start yanking on the drain plug.
Really good point. Really good point.
And
that's not what they're designed for. Not those jacks.
Right. And then to get the filter off, they're putting oil filters in the most ridiculous places.
They really are.
And you need special tools.
In some cases.
And even drain plugs now. You need special tools on certain cars. You can't even get the drain plug out unless you have a special tool that you have to buy from a tool supplier. Yeah. You can't go down to the hardware store and say, hey, I need a wrench to get this bolt out of my thing. You can't do it. So again, that's not to frustrate you folks out there, but if you don't understand what you're needing before you start, so now you go on, you bought the jack stands, you got the carp in there, now you go into there and loosen the bolt, and now you got to take all of these covers underneath the car off in order to get to the drain plug. Mm-hmm. Some of them have a door that opens and comes down to access the thing, but then you find out, okay, you get all of that done, and you find out you don't have the right wrench to loosen your drain plug. Yeah. So now you got to go to the dealer or somebody, auto parts store, and see if they have the right drain plug wrench to get your drain plug out of there.
You've got to have some containment pans.
And then you say, okay, now I got the oil drain, now I got to take the filter off. Now you don't have the right wrench to take your oil filter off. So it can be a quagmire of frustration. And again, I'm not saying this to discourage anybody out there who wants to do this stuff yourself, but make sure that before you even start the process, you have everything that you need to do it. And you may say after doing it once, why did I do all of this? Right. I bought all this stuff.
But then you got to dispose
I hate
of
doing this. I don't want to do this. Yeah, I may have saved, an $80 oil change or $50 whatever, $100 oil change. But now I bought all these tools. I spend hundreds of dollars. I don't want to do this anymore. And you can't sell the stuff for what you just bought it.
Yeah, but you got perfect yard sale stuff.
Yes, you do. and you'll get pennies on the dollar.
And I would recommend, if money is truly tight, look at a yard sale to buy the stuff originally. And instead of going and buying it new, because somebody's already gone through that frustration.
Well, so and we hear these horror stories.
We do.
And it's one of the funny stories that I heard from one of my clients. They told me they went to change their window motor in their car.
Yeah.
And he said, I cut my arm up because we all know that the sheet metal in there is sharp and you end up cutting yourself. He cut his arm up. He said he broke a couple of things by doing. He broke some
all
bolts.
the pins to pull the panel off.
Broke the plastic that seals the door.
And the worst thing that happened was he got in a fight with his wife, because his wife came out when he was mad because he was mad at the car, and she asked him a question and he snapped at her. And next thing you know, that turned into World War III. And it was like, oh my goodness. And he goes, it wasn't worth it. I go the next time, and it's funny because I always joke around with him, and I know him real well. I told him, the next time you want to do something like that, call me. I'm going to get my video camera out and we're going to videotape it, because it would be hilarious. That would be one of those things that would go viral.
That would go viral. Yeah. That would be fun to do.
Think about it. I mean, how many times have you done something that you're not really qualified to do? Yeah. And we've all done that stuff around. I can tackle that. And we get this ego going, and we just go out there and we start screwing with it. And next thing you know, we're mad as hell, and it's ruining our day. And then somebody comes out and says something to you, and you bite their head off, and next thing you know, this escalates into craziness.
And I just want to add something, because Glenn, you are spot on, and
I
you
usually
as well.
I appreciate the encouragement.
Once again,
Nobody's ever told him that before.
I say,
now
first
it's-
time I heard
that
that's the town
today.
of Owen Warren, because it's a there is some untruth to that.
Well, these guys know me
But
too well.
What I would love to do is really tap into that, because in all truth, I think that what happens is sometimes we have the best intentions of being able to go about
absolutely.
doing
Yep.
some of the things.
Oh yeah,
and
no one
I
wants to go
love
in
the
there making
fact.
a fool of themselves.
I will tell you this: I love the fact that we have customers that do try to do their own repair, and I think it's really, really a fantastic thing. I think
Many
they
of them
should.
come in on tow trucks.
I
tried to do this.
and this is where I was going. We've had, I've had some people that have come in recently. In fact, 2 days ago, gentleman got a truck towed in, tried to do it his own water pump. And he said, I did these when I was a little bit younger, and it was, of course, at that point, it was a little bit easier. It was a little bit more accessible. And it goes back to your point that nowadays in the new modern engines, there's shields, there's covers, there's things that need to be manipulated,
special tools.
moved out of the way. And he said, when I did get down to the pump, which happened to seize up, the reason why he was doing it is because the belt had broken. Right. The pump had physically seized.
And he would have had to have it towed.
Yeah. And he said, I got down, he says, and I looked at, the bolts that needed to come out. He goes, and I didn't have the right equipment. I didn't have the right tools. He says, and so I decided that, now I've got, half the car torn apart and I haven't done anything. I feel like I'm not really moving in a forward direction. He says, and I realized right away, this is a job I need to get over to Lee and let them do it. And ultimately what happens is, there's a lot of things.
Did he watch the YouTube video and how he could do it himself?
It's a possibility.
Well, the YouTube video.
I didn't ask that question, but
And the YouTube video is only 15 minutes, so it's a 15-minute job.
Never mind all the steps that they skipped while they were, trying to fast forward. Make it look like an easy job. Yeah.
When we were talking about this, I wanted to kind of go a little bit different direction. Not what people can actually physically do themselves, but what kind of repairs should they absolutely make sure happen and occur, in order to keep their budget, on a string, and what they should never avoid? You know what I mean? What is the stuff that they should never avoid? And whether they decide to do it by themselves, you know what I mean, or have somebody do it for them, what are the things that are most appropriate? Because to your point, you asked, Glenn in the beginning, Glenn, service advisor says, I need this. I need, between a HEPA filter and an air filter, which one is going to be the bigger priority? And of course, we could come up with the answers and say, well, depends on how dirty. No, we all know that it's the air filter because that's going to protect the engine. The HEPA filter, we could actually remove. Not ideal, not even suggested. I'm only saying that if you have an obstruction of airflow and you can't afford the filter in that moment, you know what I mean? You could take it out.
Yeah,
whereas the air filter, you would never do that. You see what I mean? That would be an absolute, do not do. So those are the kind of things I think that I'd love to get to. When it comes to like brakes and tires and the things that you talked about in the beginning, oil changes, brakes, tires, anything safety related has to be a number one item that never gets neglected.
So that's a great road to go down. Let's start by saying, what is your number one thing that you would tell your customers and your clients not to ever avoid? What would be the number one thing for you?
Never, ever, avoid getting your oil changes done on time. Ever. Unfortunately,
especially with today's cars. We're talking about the last 15
exactly
years.
where I was
if you own a car that's 15 years older or newer, if you avoid doing those oil changes on schedule, and I don't even care what the book says. If they say, you can, wait 7, 10, 15,000
the
miles.
books are sales
That
manuals.
is such a fallacy because we get all of our shops, and present in this room, get 4 or 5 cars a week with blown engines.
You bet.
I mean, they are locked up. Mm-hmm. They will not turn over, or they're knocking because of neglect of oil changes.
Or they're smoking so badly because they haven't changed the oil in 27,000 miles.
Yeah. And now they've done damage that can't be reversed. Changing the oil at that point is like, it's almost a useless mission.
So my number one thing is we're all on the same page with the oil change. We all consider that probably number one, right?
Mm-hmm. You bet.
Number two, I would consider when you're getting your oil change, take it to a place that can look over your vehicle and give you
Amen, Dave.
give you a complete
Evaluation.
an inspection of your vehicle. Test those things. And you want to go to a place that does those repairs and does those things so they know what they're looking at. The thing of it is a lot of times when we get vehicles into our shop that we haven't seen, first-time customer we haven't seen in a long time.
Haven't been in a year.
They decided to go get the quick oil change, and once in a while that's okay. But when you're doing that, somebody is not looking over the rest of your vehicle. There's leaks that pop up. There's brakes
And
get
guess
thinner.
who doesn't fix
Tires that have
They
low
don't-
tread.
They can't fix that.
Bulbs that are out.
They don't have the training.
Filters
they don't
that
have
are
the tools, and that's
filthy.
not what they're in business to do. They're
Right.
there to get you in and out as fast as they can, and the quality of the oil and or the quality of the filter may be in question too.
It's a limited service that has to be understood, by the consumer, that you're going in for this specific thing and that specific thing only. And to your point, if they're not getting what I'm going to call the whole package, they're really cheating themselves out of an opportunity to know about their vehicle, because if money's tight, it's going to get worse in
Right.
that scenario.
Well, when you're spending as much money on these vehicles, they say the average vehicle right now,
38,000.
38,000.
Well, that's a used car.
The median price of the new car is
I was going to say 40.
38.
I was going to say 40,000, but 38 is probably a closer number. But the point being is that when
It
you
could have gone up. I mean, that's the last I heard. That's a couple months ago.
when you invest that much money into a vehicle, the thing of it is the last thing you want to do is have to have an expensive repair, $5,000, $10,000, $20,000.
My first house was $40,000.
My first house was 19.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's just.
God, you guys are old.
Yeah.
So I guess to the point
They
is,
call that experience, Dave.
experience. Call it whatever you want. You're old.
Hey, listen, I still have hair.
That was a cheap shot. That was a cheap shot.
Well, didn't you start out though talking about hair?
Hey, I can say it. You can't.
Now, albeit white, but see, that's experience.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to tell you, short, bald, and sexy's in. That tall, dark, and handsome thing's dead. I don't care what anybody says.
Amen, brother.
Oh, man.
So back to the
the short
car
guys in the room.
This is short guys in the room. Yeah. You guys had your run. It's over. But back to the point is that the most important thing is when you spend that much money on a vehicle, you want to make sure that vehicle is running efficiently and you're getting the most cost-effective miles out of the vehicle possible. And that is one of the things that we stress to our clients on a regular basis is that, hey, these cars will last a long time. We all know.
They really will. They really will.
For instance, spark plug change intervals are over 100,000 miles now.
Correct.
And for the last 10, 15 years, your spark plug should last you, unless there's something else going on with your car that follows the plugs or whatever, your coils, your spark plugs, all that stuff should last you for 100,000 miles.
But can I piggyback on that for just a second?
Absolutely.
The one thing that sometimes is misunderstood or maybe even misrepresented is that yes, the spark plugs will go 100,000 plus, but when you do need to replace those spark plugs, there is a cost equated with that is high. The average, spark plug that goes 100,000 miles that is correct for the vehicle, not the one that'll fit, the one that's correct for the vehicle.
Yes.
It's generally in excess of $25 to $40 for a spark plug. One.
Yeah.
And sometimes people think,
I'll just buy
my
these cheap
word.
ones.
And that is absolutely counterproductive.
You need an iridium plug and you put in a platinum or you put in just a regular,
It's copper. Yeah, it's counterproductive.
Hey, one thing I want to correct here, because we were wrong, and our producer called us out on it, is that if you are looking at the overall market average, the average sticker price, MSRP, for a new car is hovering just over $51,000.
That's what I said.
Wow.
It's 50,000.
Yeah, because this is just
because
a couple months ago. I was
used
looking at
cars
the
are
median-
20.
Well,
6 to 30.
No, hold on a second. Hold on.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I'm gonna correct you again.
Okay, go ahead.
So the national
Once again,
average,
I've been wrong before.
He's going to get out
It's
of
rare.
whip in a second. He's going to start beating on you.
Yeah, the national average transaction price for a used vehicle is $25,600.
Yeah.
So when you start looking at that, that's an investment, guys.
That is an investment.
That is an investment. And
But that's the thing. Cars are investments. And here is the best part. inherently, by nature, we want to keep our things going for as long as we can
Well, that's
for
the
the
only-
least amount possible.
That's the only way you get
really what we're trying to do.
That's the only way you get cost-effective miles out of your
You
vehicle
bet.
possible.
You
And,
bet.
and the thing of it is if you buy that vehicle for $51,600 and you only get 5 years out of that car, well, you know what? You didn't get cost-effective miles out of that vehicle. That vehicle needs to run for 10.
Yeah.
And 300,000 miles, we're seeing it. A lot of our clients have 300,000 miles on their vehicle.
The average age of the vehicles is going up because people are hanging on to their cars longer, which is because of today's
economy.
world. Yeah, because
Well,
of
and
today's world.
look at our climate too. Our cars don't rust out.
No.
So usually you get a car back east or somewhere along those lines, the rust,
The body will rot off the thing before the
before the engine goes
training.
bad. Yeah.
Exactly.
So that is a very very important statistic here that our vehicles can last longer, and
No.
it's just a matter of back to what we were saying about the oil changes. Huge.
Yeah.
Oil changes. What are the 3 major things on a vehicle that are going to cost you the most amount of money? Engine.
Transmission,
Differential.
suspension, suspension.
Well, yeah, differential. What
Drivetrain. You go into drivetrain.
Well, I mean, you can go drivetrain, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at those 3 things, and what are the most important thing in those
Well,
3 things?
but I would say that there's another one, especially out here in Arizona, and that's air conditioning. Because air conditioning, to do complete AC kits on some of these vehicles nowadays, it's $3,500, $4,000.
Good point.
And so, I mean, you're talking, and it's, in the old days, I used to think 260 air was going to work and be fine. Roll your windows down, go 60 miles in air, and you got air conditioning. Okay, and that was fantastic when I was 20.
If you put wet towels on.
Now over 60, I'm going to be honest, it doesn't fit what I can do. And for some, it's even dangerous because the extreme heats that we have out here, the cockpits of the cars get tremendously hot, especially if they're
150
sitting.
degrees, 160
Plus,
degrees. Plus,
that's enough to make
Boil
us
your
think.
blood.
Yeah, when you get in a car and you feel like you're breathing in an oven, you are. Right. You're intaking air that's
so. What do you guys think?
Meant to cook food.
What do you think the length of a vehicle is right now?
Okay, and this is a great question. I'm going to tell you right now, and you guys are probably going to disagree, but I love cars that have miles. My last 2 vehicles, okay, without any kind of exaggeration, you can call my wife, you can call the shop, 800, 900,000 miles. That's what I believe the lifetime of a vehicle should be if you are proactive, maintaining your vehicle, and then you expect to keep it. I wash that vehicle. I do all the fluids in the vehicle. When I got rid of my Suburban, the one that, in an earlier podcast I'd shared we'd had some difficulty with, that vehicle served us for almost 20 plus years. And one time, when we had it flat, it was the only time it ever let us down. Now, interestingly enough, every time I loaned it to somebody, because this was a Suburban, big vehicle, we loaned it to the kids and the Boy Scouts and stuff like that. Every time somebody borrowed it, it had a failure, because a different driver. So we got to replace the transmission, we got to replace some other things along the way. However, those vehicles, if you're proactive with your vehicle, you can get as many miles as you want.
What do you think the average age of a light vehicle is out there right now?
Probably 12 to 15 years.
Well, that's a pick a number. You got to pick a number, Lee.
I'm going to say 13 and a half.
Okay.
10.
What do you think?
10 years.
Nope. 13.
13.
I should have stuck with just the 13.
You should have stuck with just the 13. I know you were thinking about it, but I wanted to throw that out there.
But did you realize how perfect 12 to 15 was?
Yeah.
That
way you're never wrong. 1 to 100.
I guess that is probably, a give and take on some people only drive their car a couple thousand miles a year, and some drive them 20, 30,000 miles a year.
Cars are not meant to be garaged and sit in the garage. Cars are not meant to be put up to pasture. Cars are meant to be driven. Mm-hmm. So when I get people that come in and say, I only want a car with low mileage, I go, are you sure? Are you sure? Because the truth of the matter is, a car with 250,000 miles has already proven that it has the capability of giving you what you're after, and that is longevity, life, and going A to B.
Yeah.
The key to it is how well was it maintained over those miles?
Right.
Because I've seen some cars at 250,000 miles that you would put in your garage tomorrow. And I've seen some that are late for the crusher.
Okay, so guys, I got one more statistic here, and then we got to wrap this thing up. So, what do you guys think the average annual mileage per year for vehicles is now?
Is that nationwide or is that Arizona?
I think nationwide.
Boy, it's going to be lower. So I'm going to say you're probably somewhere around 16.
I was going to say 15,000.
13,596.
Yeah, it
So
used
that's-
to be 18. So it's depreciated or decreased, especially since COVID. Miles have gone down because less people, commuting.
Yeah, and that definitely was, and also too, you got to remember people are working from home.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, technology.
Yeah.
Technology has made it to where people don't need to go into an office all the time.
But the thing about it is, and I'm going to just say one thing.
Not to mention, you can order your food and have it delivered to your house.
Think
about that.
But you know what I'm hearing, and I've heard this within the last 2 weeks. Of course, now we're just now getting into the summer months, and kids are out of school, and so what's happening is people are now wanting to stretch their wings, and they want to go on a road trip. They want to travel. They want to get out because if they have been working at home, they're ready to, let's say, fly the nest a little bit, and so what I would say is people are really trying to expand their horizons and want to get out, and they want to see things, and they want to take their cars to do it. They recognize the costs that are equated with it. They recognize, that they like the vehicles that they're in. But if you want to do something, and it just goes back to the same adage over and over again, and so I hope we don't sound like a broken record, but if you want to do things inexpensively or on a string or on a budget, always do your preventative maintenance, because preventative maintenance
That's exactly what it's
gets you
preventative.
it gets you where you want to go. It gets you where you want to
An ounce
go.
of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
No question.
Well, guys, you know what? It's been a great show, and I hope that our listeners got something from it. And if you really like the show, like and subscribe to podcastunderneaththehood.com. We would love for you to do that. And
Yes, we would.
And if you have any questions, one thing that we've talked about kind of privately is, if you have any questions, please write in, and we'll make a show about it. We'll address those issues. And
if there's any
questions.
topics you want to hear,
Yeah.
we'll definitely be happy to do that. So that's a great call, Lee.
Yeah.
Hey, great show, guys, and look forward to seeing you in the next one.
Thanks.
Gentlemen,
Me
be
too.
good.
Look forward to
Thank
it.
you.